Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another reaction, this time for One Piece chapter 1149. Full disclosure, I was told early this week that this chapter is big time, and I have not been spoiled whatsoever, so I have no idea what happens. I don't know if it ties to me or if it's just hype in general. I don't know, but I've gotten like a dozen warnings this week to get off YouTube. Don't get spoiled. It's a big one, so I'm fully aware that we're in for some peak. Which I mean, it's a One Piece chapter, of course we are. But this week should be a special one. Cliff is already excited. I don't know if you could hear him, but he had the rumblings of a bark ready to go. So I'm looking forward to this, guys. So we're gonna make this pretty quick here. I see I got some membership donations, some super chats, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna go through those really quickly, and then we're gonna get into it because I know y'all probably want this reaction because I've had multiple people say they want to see my reaction specifically. You know, I've been told to, like I said, get off the internet. So I've also had my a real life friend text me in the middle of the night last night and was like, Dak, whatever you do not get on YouTube. So like from all fronts, I've been told to not get spoiled. So I won't let that happen. So we're gonna get into it pretty soon. See, Cliff is really excited. Cliff, come here. We gotta react here shortly. So before I get into these, I want to go ahead and gift 5 memberships from YouTube because I forgot that it was a new month and I had 5 to give away. I have 10 to give away. There's 5, and we we have another week so I can give away the other 5. But yeah, I want to make sure I give those away. Well, let me scroll back up and see what you guys are saying here. Also, I see that the chat has this new community leaderboard feature with like where you get points for chatting. Cliff, come here. It's okay, dude. I know you're. It's every time the stream starts, you get real excited. Just come on. You can read the chapter with me, Cliff. But yeah, I see they got this new community leaderboard thing, which is interesting. But Quinidin, member for 12 months. You said 1 year. That's crazy. Feels like yesterday. It is crazy, dude. It literally does feel like yesterday that you've been around. But I appreciate it. I know you got a super chat here in a little bit, so I'll get to that here in a second. Lonely Mage with the 5 gifted memberships. The GOAT himself. Thank you very much, Lonely Mage. Welcome everyone to the Afro Gang. XL Bean Boy also with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you, my guy. Let's see. Lonely Mage with the $5 super chat. Y'all are going crazy with the donations. This must be an insane chapter for this many donations to be coming through. So you said Saddle Up Dak. Great chapter, dude. I can feel it. I can feel the energy right now. So like I genuinely can't wait. I'm actually gonna put on some music right now because I don't have any for myself to listen to, and I feel like if there was a chapter for me to make sure I have my One Piece OST going, it's this chapter. It feels like. There we go. That's a good song. We'll do that one. Let's see what else we got here. Quinidin with the $2 super chat. Crazy peak chapter, 10 out of 10, dude. For y'all to be hyping this, it better be a 10. I mean, this is crazy, y'all. Like every once in a while, every few months, a chapter comes out that just you can feel the energy, you know, for the community. So I'm excited. Saint Constantine with 10 gifted memberships. Saint Constantine, thank you very much, man. Y'all, I appreciate it so much. I genuinely can't wait for this. I've been thinking about it all day. Cliff, come here. You know what, Cliff? Come on. This week we can't have this many interruptions. Come on. All right. I shut the door. Cliff will not be barking. Well, if he does, then that's just I don't know what's going on. But he doesn't have the window access anymore. I'm sorry, Cliff. I know you're disappointed, but I will make you undisappointed shortly. All right, guys. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. I also wanted to wait a couple minutes, which I think we're good now. But for those who were checking out the streams last week, I had all sorts of technical difficulties, and I feel like we really don't want that this week. So hopefully we're all good. I don't think we've had any lagging issues yet, so we're probably all right. So without further ado, let's get into it. And I will say, whenever I pulled up the chapter, I was shocked that it went right into the chapter. I didn't read anything, but I saw that there wasn't a cover page or like the Shonen Jump cover, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on, I gotta minimize that. So now I can finally look at this because it's been at the forefront of my brain ever since. So. Also, I saw somebody in the chat say you got a spoiler from a YouTube thumbnail. That was specifically what people told me to look out for, was there were some thumbnails. So I'm glad I avoided it. I'm sorry you got spoiled, though. I feel like a lot of people did. So let's see what this chapter is about. So we see all the reactions to Scopper, what he did at the end of the last chapter with cutting off Summer's arm. Everyone yells, what? I see Brook is still mummified, which I like. This one's called 1 Second, which is interesting. We see Summers laying down there. Who is that? The Pirate King's left hand emerges from nowhere. Yeah, why did that work? What did you do? I'm rusty. Okay, that's savage. That, like, Scopper with the mad flex. And I gotta say, like, not to throw any shade to Rayleigh because he's the GOAT, but remember when Rayleigh went and pulled up on Blackbeard and said, like, he was too old? And now we got Scopper here cutting off a God's Knight's arm, going through the regeneration, saying that he's rusty. It's just like a flip of perception. But again, hey, I love Rayleigh. No disrespect. Rayleigh might be a little bit older anyway, but... Briar Barrier. And now we see him blocking the next attack, which I think I mentioned this last week, but it's interesting that it's, Scopper versus Summers, given that he's like the Thorn Man and Scopper, cut down trees. So for him to fight a plant guy kind of makes sense. But Ugh, Huff, Mountain Eater. Why are you an Elbaf? Bro, you gotta... Man, your intel needs to improve, my guy. Summers, you're supposed to know things. Nothing wrong with a serious talk, right? Nuh-uh. Huh? You met him at the castle? Yeah, Luffy and Zoro were totally overwhelmed by him. He's the father of Colin, the kid we met at the school. That old guy? Unless I misheard, he said he's Scopper Gaban. Is that Robin saying that? Whoa, he's equal to Rayleigh. He's the left hand of the Pirate King. I love the left and right hand of the Pirate King motif. I think that is such a cool thing that Oda introduced. That sort of person is in the land of the giants. The attacks are really having an impact. How come? I like that Chopper is analyzing it. Like, at least he's doing something, right? Because he's the one that still hasn't really given up his cover yet. So I just like that he's thinking. This is like a brain point moment, I imagine. Or similar to that, because he's looking for a weak point, right? I would imagine, or something like that. I can't budge, but I can use my powers to assist you. Stop it, Robin. His Iron Thorns are a terrible matchup for your hand-to-hand combat style. Thorn Rush and Hell of the Crimson Lotus. Yo, Summers, you got some nice attack names, man. Those are solid. There isn't even a square inch for you to stand on. I'm in a hurry, Come. Fu Tenraku, and he cut him from the shoulders up? Okay. This may be a play on words of Itenraku, referring to a music composition for Japanese nobles. Okay, I like that. That's interesting. I like the music focus we've had in Elbaf with, obviously Gunko and stuff. So we see Summers here chopped from the shoulders up, which is interesting. Like, it's not just decapitation. Whoops, that was close. Wait up, Colin. Huh? He took him out, so there's no way... I mean, I get that he stops the regeneration, but is he dead? Is that... Okay, so now we see Chopper running and thinking about... Is this a Chopper chapter? Chopper, where are you going? Ouch, it hurts. How is he able to cut someone who's immortal? This could be critical information. All right, hey, Chopper? Okay. I got some thoughts on why it's Chopper, but I'm gonna let's see what Oda's cooking here first, because I know there's got to be something in this chapter that's gonna blow my mind here. I like the Chopper focus so much, though. All right, well done. This should be good. All right, so they're actually burning the school, so that's a problem. Someone's got to go clap these guys right now. Save the school. I understand you did all you can. That's enough. As for over there, I'll deal with that. So we see Ange crying pretty profusely here, which might go even further in clearing her name from the Angenda, but you never know. So I don't like that the school's burning, but this bow and arrow thing reminds me of Sparrow in the Wano raid. Like, remember when he was like sitting there with the bow and arrow aiming at Marco? For some reason, that's what it reminds me of. But let's see. Now it's really burning. The library. And we see Robin worried about it, which that kills me. That is exactly why we shouldn't be burning down the school or the library, but it's not your fault, Chief Jarl. The words of our ancestors are history itself. Wait. The words of our ancestors are... history itself is all right. Yarrow, I know you're going through something, but we got it. We got to save the school, man. That's all I got to say. And we're back to Rania. Okay, here we go. The star of last or 2 weeks ago's chapter. This is Killingham. Ignition is complete. So now we got Rania walking the plank here. Withdraw, child. Is it so hard to show a little joy? I'm sorry. I'm super sorry for being alive. It's all my fault that everything is burning. I'm sorry. Okay. Rania, please. It's not your I'm like torn up, Rania. It's not your fault. Whoa. Rania is a star. Rania, I'm a huge fan. Stop it, Rania. That's not true. Culture, history, children, even military might. You lot have no right to take that away. Yo, Scopper. I'm loving the Scopper hype. Culture, history, children, even military might. You lot have no right to take that away. The Pirate King's crew? You do know resisting means the hostages will die, right? Hey, it's Yasan. Colin, Yasan is here, huh? He's come to rescue us. Don't give it away, Colin. What is it that... Are they gonna, like, go threaten Colin specifically knowing that he's his son? Is that the idea? Yep, Dad. Okay. Dad. That's my dad, everybody. My dad is stronger than everyone else's. He'll save everybody. Hooray! It's now we got Scopper freaking out. What did he just cut the arrow? Wait. That's what it looks like. So Scopper's running over there. Makes sense. Get off me. Off you? If you insist. Okay. That was... I don't even know what to say. That was kind of savage, but also kind of corny. But challenging me means only one thing. This is my last chance. If I act now, the fires can be put out. The kids can be rescued, and Elbaf will be saved. It'll have to be done in an instant. Colin, just give me 1 second. Hold on. You're a strong kid, okay? What's about to happen here? Got it, Dad. I'm a warrior. Please defeat her. Just bear with the wounds for now. I'll save you. So look how small she is relative to Colin. That's just pretty insane. A life taken cannot be returned. Colin. Okay, what? Now we got a little flashback going on? Okay, hold on. We got Scopper running forward. He's our child, Yasan. He's such a big cutie. Thank you for giving him life, Ripley. This is a treasure of a lifetime. I'm just thinking about Gunko's line there. A life taken cannot be returned. Is that necessarily true with Brooke? But anyway. Colin, please be okay. Oh, wow, she started actually stabbing Colin. If I can't stop her here, this tragedy will worsen. Now we see Colin. I like the way that Oda drew that with, like, the silhouette. You know what I mean? Like, he's darkened. And I like how it transitions into Scopper's reaction. That's really cool. I can take it. Colin, please stop. I give up. I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I get it because it's his kid, but, like... So what, he had, like, a future sight premonition that he wasn't going to make it in time, basically? Please stop. I give up. I'm sorry, Elbaf. Such a weak being. And now we see Scopper get triple stabbed. Okay. I was not expecting that. That is not what it felt like was going to happen. Okay. I'm sorry, Colin. It must have hurt real bad. Sorry. Huh? Dad? Daddy? And now we see Chopper running. So is this where does Chopper come into play? This is really making me think the Chopper and Scopper connection is real. With maybe Kureha or something. So Scopper looks like he's fallen off the tree branch. Okay, so that I was not expecting that. That's actually really crazy to see one of the wings of the Pirate King get stabbed and to lose like that. And it reminds me a lot of the Odin situation. Remember with Momonosuke? It's very similar, not the exact same, but you know, threatening someone's kid to get leverage or whatever. Damn, that's genuinely a shocker. I did not think that was going to happen. Especially one chapter after he cut Summer's arm off, and in the same chapter that he cut Summer's in half. Like, it kind of felt like this was a Scopper flex, but let's see what's still going on. Daddy? Yasan? Daddy? There? Father? Oh, okay, father. What is this memory? Yo, oh my god. Yo ho ho, Huff. You see, my dream is to be a pirate. So you're telling me the Brook? What? I see the silhouette. I know I got more. I know I got shocking stuff to read on the left-hand side here. Believe me, I'm gonna get to it. But I see the silhouette. You're telling me that Gunko is Brook's kid? Okay. So let's let me finish this. That they really do look alike. We've got to think of an escape plan. Ah, my apologies. Brook? Is that you, Brook? What? What is with all of this commotion? Ouch. Great Emu, the Holy Land, is currently in a sea of flames. What is with this person? Her face got all scary. Thou seems to require additional military force. Mu will show thee the dominion of God. And we got Gunko with the emu eyes in full force. Bro, what's happening? What? This is why I was getting warnings all week. Now I see exactly what y'all are talking about. Bro, what is going on? What is happening, bro? I look like Gunko right now. I am wide-eyed, no, like, shocked. And so, well, bro, okay. I gotta think for a second. Hold on. So whenever Scopper fell and Colin starts yelling for daddy, that triggers a flashback from Gunko about Brook, and that made her go to emu mode. Now I'm curious how that all is working. Like emu like seems to have taken over Gunko, but because of this traumatic moment. And also amidst all of this, by the way, like the Brook stuff for me is, you know, I'm obviously thinking about that nonstop, but we cannot forget this line here in the middle. The Holy Land is currently in a sea of flames. Remember how Shamrock got asked to go back to the Holy Land? What's happening over there? This last 2 pages, technically, last page on TCB here, it is genuinely shocking. And we, like... So I'm guessing that Emu took over Gunko because there's a need for more military force in Marijois. Like, are they supposed to, like, finish up and go back? Is that the idea? Like, they're supposed to bring the kids? But then why is it tied to the traumatic situation? I'm sure one of you guys will have some insight. But I'm just like, the connection of it all. And also, when Brook says, ah, my apologies. Yo, I love the Brook hype. I don't know what else to say other than that. I'm actually shocked, guys. I I wish I had more to say than I'm shocked. This is actually the most stunning thing I think I've read in an actual chapter. I mean, there are, I don't know, the mural. The mural is like game breaking, but other than the mural, this is like maybe the most shocking thing I've read on an actual One Piece chapter live. God's Advent. So Imu is here, kind of. Y'all, like, whenever I heard that this chapter was peak and I need to not get spoiled, I was thinking, like, oh, is Enel showing up? Is Yaru showing up? Are we gonna see Kaido and Big Mom? Like, I'm thinking, like, pretty hype, but somewhat reasonable things. Not that this is, like, super unreasonable, but it's, like, for all this to happen at once, it is, like, the craziest series of events. Like, Enel showing up wouldn't, I mean, it probably wouldn't be quite this crazy because now we have Imu here, pretty much. Which, I remember I did that video on Redacted where we said who's going to show up to Elbaf, and Imu was one of them, and we didn't think Imu had a good chance, but Imu is kind of here, it seems. So, Imu kind of did show up, but Mu will show thee the dominion of God. I gotta see what y'all are saying. This is crazy. I gotta see. Gunko for Nakama stocks are up. I'll say that much with the Brook connection here. It's hard to deny that. I mean, I'm not saying it will happen, but like, I feel like we're definitely befriending Gunko. I'll say that much. Gunko is gonna get freed from whatever this situation is. I feel like, and again, I don't know if Gunko will actually become real Nakama, but y'all, I'm in another world right now. Let's see what you guys are saying. I want to see if you guys are gonna help me make some more sense of this, because my brain is at a full standstill currently. So just real quick, I know I read these earlier, but all you guys who said that this chapter was 10 out of 10 in peak, absolutely correct. All of you. Thank you to everyone who warned me. I did avoid YouTube more than normal because of the amount of messages, so you guys did make an impact, so thank you, because this is genuinely fresh. I had no idea any of this was happening, so major shout out to everybody who messaged me. Thank you very much. Man, okay, let's see what you guys are saying. XL Bean Boy with the $2. This chapter made me do a Viking yell. Dude, I probably should have done one. I honestly should have done one. Also, shout out Dexter, who just sent me a message in the chat with what should have been the color page, but it wasn't included in the chapter, which is pretty cool. With, I don't know, they're eating at a table and stuff. That's pretty cool. I like it. Bota Curry Maid Cafe. Thanks for sending that over, because I was curious why this wasn't at the start, because I was like, man, I usually have some buffer to not get into the meat of the chapter, so thank you. But Bean Boy, yeah, I should have done a Viking yell as well. I did one, and I was just too shocked to even say word. I couldn't get any sounds out of my mouth, so, yeah, appreciate you for the super chat. Tosmorn V Hall of Flames with the $2. Love y'all, go crazy, great chapter. I have Elbaf stuff. By you have Elbaf stuff, do you mean theories or something in that realm? But yeah, this is a huge chapter for the community, especially all the Brook fans, all the cultured Brook fans, which I hope some of you are in the chat, because you all know we love Brook around here. Y'all, all I can tell you is once this stream is done, I am immediately getting to work on a video about this. I don't know what that video is going to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to come up with a good theory. And like, maybe you guys will help me here in a minute. I don't know what that video is going to entail, but I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a video about what's going on. There's no question. I see a little bit of a Brook flashback moment here, at least presumably. There's no chance I'm not doing a video on this. So just FYI, everybody, in a few days, it'll probably be after the official drop. So, you know, because I gotta really think about the spoiler element, because I don't want to spoil anyone too much on this. But also, if I do it after the chapter, I don't know. I gotta think about it. I don't want to ruin anybody's day. But either way, you're getting a video on this. I'll tell you that much. But But thank you, Tosmore. John Stoops with the $5 super chat. I don't know if you saw my Discord chat, but I took the day off just for this stream. No spoilers, but you're gonna love this one, John. I am honored, man. You picked the right one. That's all I gotta say. You knew, and it honestly means a lot that I like. Not only that you took the day off so you could see this, and everyone messaging me. I mean, it seriously means a lot because y'all know I love Brooke, so you knew this was gonna make me feel some type of way, and like genuinely, that means a lot. And what's crazy is, you know, we don't have to get into the thick of the weeds of it, but like this wasn't like the best week for me ever. I mean, it wasn't horrible. I'm not going to complain about it, but it was a pretty stressful week for me. And so whenever I heard this chapter was big, I was like, all right, cool. Hopefully it's big in a good way, because sometimes it can be big where like I got something wrong. And I mean, people don't normally message me, but that's what my mind goes to. Like, oh, why is it big? Is it for me, or is it something else? But this is like amazing. This is genuinely like my day is made. My week has completely flipped upside down in a good way. Like, and so John, I appreciate you being here. We're gonna have some theories on this too. I always want to get through these chats because you guys have probably been thinking about this, but you know me, sometimes I like to sit and think for a little bit before the theory cogs start working. So hopefully we'll get some good theories here. But John, thank you. Knack Reacts, Canadian 279, shocked me to see those flames. Really wanted it saved. Yeah, for sure. And again, just your comment just reminded me, and I just want the chat to start thinking about this. The Holy Land currently in the Sea of Flames line. I want all the theories about what's going on. Like, that's, to me, those are the flames we got to be talking about. Those are the ultimate flames. But yeah, I was really hoping that, like I said, when Scopper got beat earlier in the chapter, I did not think that was how that was going to go down. Like he was saying, like, I'm gonna save all this in one swing, blah blah blah. But then he saw like that future sight and backed off. Like that was honestly really shocking. And then it doubled down here with this. This final panel is something else. Genuinely, like that is, I don't even know what to say about that. That's just something else. So that is next level. But yeah. All right. Let's see what else you guys are saying. ZMP323, you're one of the people that messaged me and told me how hype this was, so appreciate you. I can't watch live, but I'll try to watch the VOD later. Enjoy, y'all. ZMP, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for warning me. I'm sorry that I didn't do it at a time where you could watch live. I'm super sorry, but man, if you got any thoughts or theories that you want to DM me or whatever, feel free after this. You definitely deserve it. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Seriously. Tosmorn, again, with the $2 super chat. Bro, at least she has a reason to be SUI? Wait, what is that? What does that mean, Tosmorn? Maybe I'm just uncultured and I don't know. Also, I just realized I gotta adjust my lighting a little bit here. It's a little bit bright for my eyes. There we go. Now it's a little bit better. Bro, at least she has a reason to be sweet now? What does that mean? Somebody tell me. So I know. Because and I love when you guys max out the characters in the chats, but sometimes I'm a little clueless. But oh, Captain Golden Boy in the chat. Golden Boy, I appreciate you sliding through. This was a big chapter, my guy. Big. For any Brook fans out there, this was massive. Oh, Sui, I get what you're saying. I mean, well, hopefully not. Well, hopefully this fixes. Hopefully this puts her on the path of freedom. That's what I'm thinking. That's my hope for this. But yeah, I think you guys are right. That's usually not the way I see that abbreviated, but now I understand. And Tosmorn again. $5. I'm sorry, Elbaf sounds a lot like I'm sorry, Fishman Island. That's interesting. I think this is how Joy Boy lost. He had to give it up because the Ancient Kingdom was a weak point. That's interesting. So I'm trying to think of how that could all play in, because it also, the way that like that happened and then it parlayed right into Emu popping up and like there's like a bad memory of it. It does make me wonder if Joy Boy. Because remember, like I said, Odin kind of did the same thing, and Odin was the one telling everybody, like, oh, Joy Boy's gonna come in 20 years to save Wano. Like, he was all over that. And so it does make me wonder if Joy Boy maybe lost in a similar way, because you also think if Joy Boy's like this all-powerful guy, he probably had to willingly lose, or I say willingly lose kind of loosely, like be forced into it, kind of like here with Scopper. That is interesting. I really like that idea. Now, I don't know if it'd be the Ancient Kingdom necessarily, because it seems like it got destroyed anyway, but maybe, I don't know, if Joy Boy had a whale friend, like Laboon, like I've been saying for a while, maybe Davy, like Davy Jones type thing, I think that would be a good one. Like, he's like Brook, if Brook were to die again, I bet it, or if he ever were to willingly die in a future scenario, I bet it would be to save Laboon. You know, like that would be one scenario where Brook's like, yeah, I'm not letting Laboon die. Nope, he's been too lonely, been waiting for me, blah, blah, blah. Like, now obviously that won't happen. They're going to meet again. But just the point is like, that would make sense if that's how Joy Boy lost. So Tosmore and I think I might agree with you. Kush Daddy with a $2 super chat. Love this quote. A child is a parent's weakness, from Dragon. That is such a good point, because you think about this in the context of, well, we're kind of waiting for Dragon to show up. Dragon's the one who mentioned the God's Knights, and obviously he's the one who didn't go after Ginny. It's kind of like, he understood this from the very beginning type deal. And so for Scopper to kind of experience, like, he was sitting there like, Colin, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. And as soon as he said it, they got cooked. So actually, I love that you brought that up, Kush. That's a really good line, and it really adds some extra context to this Dragon situation, because he's probably been avoiding this the whole time, which, they know that Monkey D. Luffy is the son of Monkey D. Dragon now, but that wasn't revealed to the whole world, which I'm sure a lot of the Marines knew, because, I mean, the name makes it really obvious, but that wasn't revealed to the world till after Luffy was at, like, a certain level of strength, Like, if Colin was stronger, it wouldn't matter as much if he revealed that, because then he could defend himself, but he's too young to do that. And so I think Dragon was really smart, where he kind of left Luffy in a place where, like, nobody was really going to find him, because if they wouldn't threaten Luffy when he was a kid, they would have brought the Revolutionary Army down a lot earlier. But, so since that didn't happen until he was a little bit older, and he went out, and he started sailing when he was 17, he was able to defend himself a little bit more. There's a really important through line there, because Momo was also a kid when Odin got cooked, right? So I really love that, Kush. Whatever video I do here on Brook, that I'm gonna touch on that for sure. So thank you, David Cott with the €2. Usopp fans in the mud. This is Brook's arc. MFers, y'all know what it is. We ain't trying to get demonetized. I actually did get a video claimed incorrectly by a music group who thought that one of my songs was theirs and it wasn't, so I'm in the middle of that dispute. So I don't want any more disputes, which I'm not going to say that group's name, but y'all are going to lose this dispute. I don't know, y'all are tripping. But anyways, David, yeah, Usopp, I mean, Usopp's still going to have big moments this arc. Like, let's, are they in the mud right now? Yes. Usopp has looked horrible this arc. The only things you can really point to for Usopp are like the Excalibur thing or whatever. Like, nothing. He hasn't actually done anything. He's just kind of mentioned things. He's also mentioned ores and stuff, but he'll have his time. For right now, it is Brook's arc. Like, Brook has completely stolen the show. You won't hear any complaints from me. Now, if Usopp doesn't get shine later, you will hear plenty of complaints. But right now, I'm completely okay with what's going on, and you are right. Usopp's taking a backseat to Brook, but it's all good. It's all good. Jake Fegan, member for 19 months. Jake, I appreciate you for sliding in. I feel like it's been a minute, but I mean, no problem. But I'm glad to see your name again. Gunko, Yorkie's daughter, maybe. That's interesting. That's interesting. So I like it. So I guess would the idea be that Yorkie had the kid and well, I gotta think about that, because soon after Yorkie... So would Yorkie have had the kid somewhere else, and then they met her, and then left her behind, just like they did to Laboon? Is that the idea? Because that could work. I'm just trying to think of, like, with Yorkie's timing and stuff, because, like, it wasn't too long after he got sent into the Calm Belt that they, got lost and stuff. So, like, they would have had to drop her off somewhere at some point, I guess is my thought. So, yeah, so maybe it could be Brook's kid. Because he also said, you see, my dream is to be a pirate, which would mean that Brook hasn't become one yet. So that would be Brook before he met Yorkie. So I'm actually thinking it's not that. It's probably just Brook's daughter. See, And I love when you guys say this stuff because now my theory, the cogs in my brain are starting to work, so I can start piecing this together. So it probably makes more sense to actually be Brook's kid. Or if not Brook's kid, just maybe like a girl from that country that he's from, right? Which I believe to be Taroa, but we don't actually know that. Birch, I see you in the chat saying Brook's gonna freeze the library flames, bro. You will not. If oh my god, because I want the library to be saved so bad, and if Brook does it, dude, I will wear an afro for the rest of that stream. I actually have 2 afros that I've had, like ready to use for future streams, but I haven't even thought of it. This would have been the perfect stream, but I don't have them available. I will have them available for all future streams. If that happens, I'll probably just wear it for the next stream. I mean, what do I care? It doesn't even matter. This is already, Brook has already ascended. You know what I mean? Like, I'll just wear it. It's all good. Especially if that happens. Especially if that happens. Terrible TJ, member for 26 months. That's crazy. Over 2 years. Like the stream, dude. Thank you so much. Just for the just coming in to say like the stream. If y'all haven't liked the stream, please do. It makes a massive difference in the algorithm. I can tell you that. So thank you very much, TJ. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Lonely Mage with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much for your generosity, my friend. What do you got to say? Final War is here, folks. Code Red, dude. You're cooking because not only because of what we just saw, but remember, was it 2 chapters ago, 3 chapters ago, whatever it was, Gunko, the person who is Emu now apparently, was the one who said this is the opening salvo of the Final War. And now to see Gunko appear as Emu or whatever is happening, I mean, that's just like, I don't know, that's some kind of Oda messaging, I feel like, you know, like Gunko knew because Emu probably knew. And now my another theory that I just thought of here in regards to this Brook and Emu situation. Remember earlier when Gunko said, what was it? That like a life taken cannot be returned. Well, here's my thing. If Gunko is Brook's kid, that means that Gunko should be like 70 years old right now. And I mean, maybe she is and we just can't tell, but she doesn't look 70. And I'm starting to wonder, did Gunko die and then get like used by Emu? You know, like, is that why Gunko's the one? Because Gunko's had a couple other lines before about like the dead in general. I can't remember, but lines that are like a life taken cannot be returned, or I can't remember exactly, but there's some things like that. And so I'm starting to wonder, is Gunko like a Victoria Sindri situation where her corpse is getting used? And did that memory of Brook come through because it's like Sindri remembering some stuff in Thriller Bark, like when Chopper was like trying to get through to her and stuff? And also we see Chopper running through and having some focus this chapter, which could be its own thing. But I'm starting to feel like Gunko is actually dead, and now it's just like, you know, she's just a corpse being used like Moria would with shadows. Also, my chat froze, and I want to see what you guys are saying. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Because y'all know Firefox likes to, you know, slow down after like an hour. But yeah, and Maestro, you said Usopp's been calling her a zombie, I think. Exactly. Like they've thrown a lot of stuff around that makes me think that we could be going that direction. So that, I actually think that's 100% true, that she already died because Brook already died, right? And so, you know, like father, like daughter, I guess, in this situation, right? So yeah, that I really like that idea. Let's see, where was I at on the chats here? I think I was on Lonely Mage, right? Yep, Lonely Mage with the Final War. Bean Boy with the $2 super chat. Emu's using Gunko like an RC car. Like seriously though. And a lot of people were saying that because of the heterochromatic eye situation, but now like, I mean, it's kind of like Emu's satellite, right? Now, I doubt that all the God's Knights do this. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is a Gunko-specific thing. Just because Gunko didn't have Saint in her name or a family name. And again, I could be wrong, but the fact that we, you know, have Emu eyes on someone else is just pretty crazy. I feel like there's been a lot of theories over the years that Emu will be able to control people or whatever, and now that we see it, like, it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane to actually be here when it happens. Tosmorn, again, thank you very much for your donations, my friend. Soul Piece and Possession confirmed. Could be Abyss. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Possession for sure. Abyss, I like the Abyss angle, because going back to the, you know, Brook died and came back to life thing, like, did Gunko do the same thing? Maybe Gunko did die, and they used the Abyss to, you know, bring her soul back, and I maybe put that in quotes, because maybe it's a little bit different than a normal thing. And so, in Fishman Island, Brook mentioned how the only way he was able to stay on this plane was some unique energy. I think it's probably that the green stuff that he, you know, looks like whenever he turns into a ghost, he has like this green, you know, see-through stuff. I think it's probably that. I don't know if we have a name for it, but I'm wondering if maybe Emu can use the Abyss to tap into that same kind of energy to keep Gunko, like, in this realm as long as her powers are, you know, active. Which, you go back to Saturn, you know, who he got, like, his life taken away. It's like, they might all be kind of the same thing. Like, maybe all of them die first, and that's why they regenerate, is like, they're already dead. There's a special power that's letting him do it. Because, like, Brook shouldn't be alive if he's just a skeleton, right? But he is. And even his head can pop off, and you can, like, put it back on, and he's fine. And so I wonder if the Gods Knights are in a similar vein. It's going to be different, but similar, where, like, if you cut them in half, yeah, they can still be alive, because they're not following the same rules as the living as everybody else does, kind of like Brook doesn't, right? Now, Brook can die if he, like, gets, like, his bones pulverized or whatever. I forget what he said, but yeah, there's obviously they operate with different rules, so something's going on for sure. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici with the £2 super chat. Bonnie handshake emoji. Gunko having a living dead father. Wow, I didn't think about that angle. Yeah, I didn't even think about the Kuma element of it all, but that is something really pertinent to think about, isn't it? I feel like this arc is really all about, like, what does it mean to be alive, right? Like, it, you know, the living and the dead, like, how different can those really be? And honestly, we can kind of see that, like, where we have the realm of the dead and then the sun realm, like, even right there's like a little bit of a difference. And we still have to see what the heaven realm is, but that might even cap all this off in a great way at the end. So, man, yeah, this arc is cooking. Like, Oda, the start was a little slow for me, but Oda is full on chefing right now. CB Maddie with the $5 super chat. Gunko's forever cooked. She's completely dead to me. You still thinking that, big dog? I mean, she's a terrible person. You know what I mean? So yes, so she is dead, but I mean, this is high. I mean, she's Emu, so she's got to, you know, get cooked. But Gunko will get saved from whatever this is. That's what I believe. So right now, Gunko is definitely still in the mud as far as, you know, her actions, because she just stabbed a kid in the neck and then didn't kill Scopper, but if this was a real life, he'd probably be dead. So yes, she's still in the mud, but I think she's definitely getting rescued. That's for sure. Someone's got to kill this controlling element of her, and then she can go back to being normal, and then she's Nakama. Then she's Nakama after that. So I'm still thinking half of it, to answer your question. Terrible TJ with the $2. Notice Gunko's hair changing. Looks like it's long. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't really notice that. That is true. Her hair grew. I'm not sure what that entails. That is weird, though. Or is it just... Let me see if I can get a better picture of... Like, did Gunko always have that hair but tucked in and now it's freed and I just didn't notice? You know what I mean? No, it looks like it definitely expanded. Very interesting. Also, and you see here how whenever Gunko is, like, right before the Brook panel, you see this person saying father, and, you know, Gunko looks up. Is that Gunko in a prior life? Is that the idea? Like, before Gunko died or got whatever happened to Gunko? Is that what that's saying? Like, because if that is the case, that person above Gunko has long hair. And so is it is it that Gunko is like reverting back to her prior self, if that makes sense? Like maybe she got a haircut after she died, and now that she's going back to this other form. I imagine other people might be saying, "Oh, what if Emu has long hair, and so now it's mimicking that?" Which that I could maybe get behind, but because we see this panel above her with somebody with long hair, it feel like it's kind of 50-50. But that is interesting. It's kind of strange, right? Like that's trying to think of other instances where we've seen something like that. I don't know if, I mean, I guess like in like Sulong, their hair gets really long, so I don't know if that's, obviously this isn't Sulong, but maybe something tied to it. I'm not sure. But good catch though, TJ. Jiggly with the $5 super chat. The father panel is an older Gunko than the Brook panel. Okay, so I think that was literally what I was just talking about. The father panel is an older Gunko than the Brook panel. Seems like Brook may have been to Gunko that someone like Pell or Igaram was to Vivi. That's interesting too. It may not have been that Brook was that Brook is her dad, but that her dad had died and Brook became her father figure, and then he had to leave, and so now she looks up to him. So it's not, and that would make a lot of sense, because you remember how Brook like didn't recognize her at first. If it was actually his daughter, that might be a problem. Brook, I know it's been 90 years or 80, probably like 70. It doesn't make a difference. However long it's been, I know it's been a while, but like if it's your kid, you kind of like you should probably know right away. But if it's somebody else's kid and he like, took them in just for like a little bit, maybe he wasn't as familiar with them, that might make some more sense, where he's like, wait. Like I've seen this person. That context makes more sense. So maybe her father is someone else. And again, since Brook says, "You see, my dream is to be a pirate," I think that has to precede the Rumbar pirate days, right? So yeah, maybe it is an Igaram or Vivi situation. That I like that. And Kanu, I saw you in the chat. You said the loyal knight, orphaned little princess trope is pretty common. Oda could be going for that. Yep, I like it. And you know what's funny is another example of this. It's not the exact same, but you think about like Kiros and Rebecca, which obviously like they, were father and daughter, but she didn't know that. And so you still kind of had that element of where like somebody from her perspective who wasn't her dad that was guarding her. So Oda has done that a lot. So actually that's more likely. I think that's more likely. Jiggly, you've convinced me. I think that's the case. Smooth Weeb, Canadian $2 super chat. Full possession over Gunko, even her hair grew long. Yeah, it's crazy. And the full possession part, I'm excited about it, because we've had so many theories over the years that Emu might be able to control people, and now we can finally say that it actually happens, right? That like now, who knows how many other layers to this theory could be true? Like, are all the God's Knights going to get controlled? Can all the Gorosei? Can Emu just control whoever they want? Maybe barring some like small condition, like maybe they have to be like in pitch darkness or something. I don't know. You know how Moria had to like cut your shadow? Maybe there's like an element of that. Yeah, there's a lot to say here. And about the hair, I know we just talked about it, but I think it remains to be seen whether it's Gunko reverting to her prior self, or if it's Emu's, because like if Emu's hair is taking over, then you might think like the rest of Gunko might start looking like Emu, right? Like, is it just going to be hair and eyes? Like, you wonder what the cutoff is. So got to see the rest of that. But regardless, the Emu possession is fully confirmed. So this is, and the fact it said Mu will show thee the dominion of God, like, what an entrance for Emu, to finally, I mean, obviously Emu's done some things before, but for like Emu to actually show up in front of the Straw Hats in an arc, I mean, what an entrance. Crazy. Aaron with the SAR 50. I always got to check what the what these currencies are. Saudi Riyal. That's right. I think you have super chatted before, or at least somebody with Saudi Riyal said, and I got to remember those, but thank you very much. You said, I said before that the Arnote warning meant danger of time, and Emu says that you took too long. How? They've been here for like an hour max, so that means the time is different in Elbaf. Maybe I'm wrong. That's a really good point. Now, I got to think about that a little bit. So, we left Egghead. How many days were there between Egghead and Elbaf? There was like 2 days, right? Or something like that? Because they said it... I think it takes less time to sail to Elbaf, but because they got lost, I think I remember them saying it took a couple days to get to Elbaf. And then they have only been here for a few hours, I think, right? I don't think they've slept a night here, right? So that means it's been roughly 2.5 days, let's say, since Egghead. And so, if that's the case, and now we're hearing that the Holy Land is currently in a sea of flames, it does make me wonder, because you think back to Shamrock getting called back. Like, when all the Gods Knights got brought here, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about it a little bit more. You might be right. Like, maybe the time has been moving a lot faster everywhere else than here on Elbaf. I wonder if there's any other evidence of this, because the fact we're seeing the Holy Land's currently in a sea of flames, it's like, okay, a lot has happened. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like some time has passed. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what everybody else is saying. I think you might be onto something, Aaron. John Stoops with the $2. The best arc for non-Monster Trio Straw Hats so far. I agree. It might be tied with Whole Cake, because Brooke also got a lot of focus on Whole Cake. But obviously in Whole Cake, so that was Sanji's arc, right? And Luffy was a big part of it too. So I agree that Oda has kept the Monster Trio in their own section, you know, down in the realm of the dead with Loki. And we've seen the rest of the Straw Hats kind of step up here or there, or at least have interesting moments. So I'm all for this. Like, Oda, if you want to keep the Monster Trio separate even longer, I mean, you know, maybe they got to come in eventually to like save the day or whatever's going down, but I'm not complaining about this at all. This is awesome to see the other Straw Hats get focus. Now, the sad part is, if we get into a whole Brook backstory here and the Monster Trio is not around to hear it, that's just unfortunate that they aren't getting, you know, that cool info. But yeah, I'm a fan of this too. Vasil Vlad Ivanovici with the, I see you said 1/2, so there's probably 2 super chats here with the £5 super chat. I see the other one. Also, this chapter further convinces me that Imu inhabits Lily's body, and he either is hiding even from the Gorosei, or that he himself is a shadow, and when he felt Joy Boy's Haki and Egghead, it separated him from the body, and Lily in Silhouette was still worried for him. That's interesting. I know the Lily possession theory, I know is a lot of people's, you know, I know a lot of people are on that. For one thing, I'll say, hold on, there was a couple super chats between, so I have to keep scrolling back and forth. And you said either he's hiding it from the Gorosei. So for that part, I feel like, and I might be wrong, but I feel like when we see Imu as a silhouette, I don't know if everybody else sees Imu as that. Like I'm sure the Gorosei have actually been able to see Imu, so I feel like whatever Imu looks like, they know. But if it's Imu controlling Lily's body, they would probably know it's still Imu on the inside, but she controlled Lily for whatever reason. But yeah, I mean, you know, now that we see this possession thing, I feel like it's definitely possible. I mean, I hope that Imu has a different face personally. That's just my own, like, regardless of the theory potential, I hope that Imu doesn't just look like Lily, or if they do, hopefully we get to see what Imu really look like and they revert back. But yeah, you're right. Now that we see the possession happen for at least one person, it's definitely possible that Lily, you know, got possessed or whatever. So it's definitely on the table for sure. No doubt. No doubt. And also real quick, you talked about the Haki part. I feel like I like the idea that the Haki could be so strong it would separate the body, right? Like it would actually, like, Imu's like, oh my god, like if it, like this might end everything if I separate and I don't have Lily's body anymore or whatever. I think that is interesting. But I don't think it would have if it successfully separated them. I think we might have seen a little bit more. But regardless, that element could definitely come into play later, right? Where maybe like Luffy has to get a certain level of Haki to flip it. And it's funny because now I will say Imu controlling Lily's body directly, like like, is it going to be the same? Because this is like a remote thing, I imagine, where Emu is still, in the Holy Land, I would imagine. And so I guess what I'm thinking is like, Emu might be more directly in Lily's body, like a permanent situation, and this might be more of like a remote control. I think somebody earlier said like an RC car type situation. Like, you think about Law's personality swap and how Doflamingo said the personality swap was like a really important element of the power. I wonder if it's more like Emu is permanently in Emu, or if the Lily possession thing is true, it might be more that Emu's permanently in Lily's body, and then these other ones are more like remote something or other. And the reason I think that just using Law's fruit in general is interesting, and maybe Emu can do it without Law's fruit. Maybe there's another way to do it. But the reason I like having Law's fruit is, remember how we saw Kaido and Big Mom use Haki to stop, being shambled around, and then Law also used Haki later to cancel Doc Q's power. It makes me wonder, like, okay, well, maybe strong enough Haki can cancel a personality swap, can cancel a possession thing. So maybe that is what happens. Like, and we talked about this earlier. I hope that the trick isn't just more Haki, or we talked about this last week. I hope there's like a little bit more to it, but regardless, yeah, this definitely, the Lily stocks are up for sure. But I also want to comment real quick on earlier. You know how we saw Chopper running? Nobody's brought it up yet, so I just want to bring this up real quick while it's on the forefront of my mind, because I thought this chapter was going to actually dive into it, but it didn't. But the way that Chopper is the one who is so focused on beating the immortality, like, he's chasing Scopper to go figure it out and stuff, and I would guess he's going to go save Scopper now. And if he's the one who saves Scopper from, because he's caught in some thorns and stuff right now, right? I remember he like fell off. I think we saw him. Let me see. Let me go double check. Where is he at? Oh yeah, so he fell off. So he's falling. It's Summers that it's stuck in some thorns, but he's falling off the thing, right? So, and we see Chopper running towards him. So if Chopper saves him, then I think that's really going to open the door for some Chopper-Scopper connection talk to finally happen, which I've been talking about for a while. Scopper might be Kureha's son. He's the one who beat the immortality. Kureha's the oldest living woman in the world who has some secret to her youth that nobody ever talked about. He chopped down trees, Drum Island. Like, most of you guys probably know the theory. If you don't, I'm sorry, but I did do a video on Redacted about it. But regardless, this might be the perfect chance for them to talk. And the fact that it's Chopper going to Scopper to try to figure this out really makes me think it's biofeedback or semi-Keycon, Life Return, Keygong. They're all similar descriptions for the same thing. I feel like the stocks for that idea went way up with Chopper having this focus and Chopper presumably saving Scopper. I don't know if that's... I'll probably talk about that on Redacted, but I do want to dive into that because I feel like the chance of Life Return went way, way up. Like, skyrocketed, I would say. But regardless, just want to throw that out there. JR Writer, 203, with the $10 super chat. Who can possibly deal with Emu Gunko besides Luffy now? Hope we get an epic Luffy return next chapter. Also, Gunko is reminding me of Sindri now. Gonna reread Thriller Bark. JR Writer, I'm so glad you said that, because you said that 34 minutes ago, which, guys, I'm sorry I'm going so slow. But the fact that you said that probably before I brought up Sindri makes me feel even more confident. Yeah, I'm thinking Gunko died, somehow got possessed. I don't know why Emu chose Gunko or what that... Maybe you almost have to, like, willingly give up your life. For example, maybe Gunko said, like, I have to know more about the backstory, but Gunko may have just been so upset about what happened and wanted revenge so bad that maybe she was like, hey, I want to live forever so I can do this certain thing. Make me immortal. And they're like, okay, well, you have to die first, which, like, sounds ironic, but it might be, some, whatever Emu's power is, so that way Emu can control you or whatever. I think there's a whole story there for sure. And Sindri would make a lot of sense. The way the memory came back in that moment reminds me so much of Sindri, like when Sindri smiled at the very end and didn't save Hogback. So as far as who can deal with Emu and Gunko besides Luffy, might be Brook. and I'm not saying Brook is strong enough, but there might be that it's the Sindri stuff. It's like when Chopper was getting through to Sindri mentally and spiritually, like, hey, don't be controlled, don't do these things. And so for Brook, if Brook is able to, you know, get through to her a little bit and say, like, this is why I left, this is, you know, like, we still loved you or whatever, like, you know, you have things confused, like, there might be a way to get through to her. Because I do think that, you know, going back to we talked about this earlier, like, I feel like this really is saying Gunko is going to join our side. Maybe not join the crew, but join our side for sure. And so, and I don't think you get through to her and get her to join you by just defeating her. Like, I don't think going toe-to-toe with Emu's the way. And it might be a thing where getting through to her makes Emu weaker. Like, if Emu's control is, you know, strained a little bit. Now, what would be really sad is if Gunko has to die because of this. Like, if Gunko being freed, quote unquote, means that she dies permanently, that would be such like a bittersweet ending. And I feel like that might be the most likely situation, to be honest, because then we're not even left with the, like, oh, is she going to join the crew? Or like, Brook, you can't just abandon her now. Like, you know, she kind of has to be around, I feel like, if she does get freed. So maybe she does die after this. And that's like a really sad element of it is, wow, if we save these people, that means that they're dying. And so I don't know. And if it's not Brook, then probably Luffy. So I would not mind if Luffy showed up, because then we have Emu and Luffy going face to face, which I'm down for that. Kuya Pixels with the $2. Solid 9 out of 10 chapter. Absolutely hype. Gunko for ally. Exactly. Gunko for ally specifically. I'm with you 100%. I'm shocked you only gave this a 9 out of 10. This one deserves a 10. This absolutely deserves a 10. And honestly, all you need is the last 2 pages, right? That those alone, or the last like double page spread. I don't know if you consider that 1 or 2 pages. It'd be 2 on Viz or whatever. But that last spread, that deserves a 10 immediately for me. But I'm glad it got at least a 9. This one on the IMBD of One Piece chapters, this is like a 9.8, 9.9. This is like Expedition 33, but in chapter form, if you ask me. Tosmorn v Hall of Flames with the $10 super chat. Holy Land is Mad Dog versus Flame Emperor. It's a parent-child relationship, but I like what you're saying about, well, potentially about Akainu and Sabo, because I'm a big believer that that's what's going to happen. But now, is it happening already? That, because like Sabo was just there, right? Like a handful of days ago. Like, I don't even know if he's fully healed from the thumbnail arrow attack, you know? So I'm a little 50-50 on Sabo already being back, but I do agree that when you hear the Holy Land is currently in a sea of flames, you're gonna think Sabo. So I would probably say there's a good chance, but I wouldn't say definitively. It would be cool if Dragon went, because Dragon didn't go last time. And so if it is Dragon versus Akainu right now, that could also lead to a Sea of Flames, because, I mean, Akainu's magma, like, you know, that's going to light stuff on fire. So, Akainu's definitely fighting somebody. Let's say that much. Akainu's boxing someone. And the fact that Shamrock got pulled back to go help makes me really think it would be like a dragon level threat. Otherwise, like, I don't know, like Blackbeard pirates, they don't want to fight them, right? They want to get on their sides. Like, while Blackbeard definitely should be going to Marijois, I don't think he'd be causing this, but it could be that Blackbeard showed up and then another adversary showed up. Like, what if it's Sabo versus Blackbeard? And, I mean, and Akainu's probably there too, but, like, there could be multiple factions there at the same time, and that's what started it all. That is, like, such a crazy throwaway line from Oda. Like, Oda, you can't... I mean, you can, because you're Oda, but, like, you can't do that to me, man. Like, now... Like, I'm so focused on Brook, but I'm also thinking, okay, like, I know there's something huge going on there. Yeah, so, I mean, Sabo's I think there's a good chance at Sabo. And you said Dragon's elsewhere, focusing on a more important target. I'm curious who you think that might be. I'm trying to think. I mean, the only other target I could see him going for would be Kuma, just to talk to him and figure out what's going on. So he would be showing up here, which honestly, if that's what Oda does, where he has Dragon come here and he has everyone else go there, because maybe he knows, okay, there's a couple Gods Knights in Elbaf, and one of them might become Emu. I'm gonna go there and take care of all of them. I'll send my whole army to go after, Marijois separately. That might make some sense. So, and honestly, if we're having parent-child relationships be a focus this arc, from obviously this Gunko and Brook thing, whatever's going on, and then also Scopper and Colin, obviously, it might be a good time to bring in Dragon and have the Luffy and Dragon stuff. Also, like Loki and Harold, like there's a lot of parent-child relationships being touched on this arc. So I honestly, Dragon pulling up, that element makes me think Dragon coming here is more likely. Kush Daddy with the $10 super chat. I think Emu took over Gunko's body coincidentally as her memories appeared. Things are just going south both in Elbaf and Holy Land. But look at Brook's silhouette. That's definitely a Royal Guard sword. Yeah, that's a good call out. It's not his hooked sword. So that is definitely like a back in the day thing. And remember how he knew the Gods Knights already? That's like a... I say this loosely, but that's like a God's Knight sword. Like that's the same kind of sword that like Shamrock or Shanks would have. Like I think they're similar, where they have a I don't know what you call it. There is a name for it, but that little loop around the handle to like protect your hands. That type of sword, I think it's a saber, maybe? Is that what the whole kind of blade is called? Whatever it is, I can't remember. But that is definitely like a knight sword kind of thing, right? It's not his fencing sword that he usually has. So it makes me wonder, like, not that Brook was in the Gods Knights, but that he probably knew them back from his prior job, right? Like, if, the timelines match up, he has the similar aesthetic. It'd be crazy if Brook was asked to join the Gods Knights. That would be... I mean, Brook should be way stronger now. Maybe he was a beast back in the day, but just because he, is a skeleton, maybe he's a little bit weaker. But, like, I don't know, man. All right, let's see here. Oh, wait, Kush, what else did you say? You said Emu took over Gunko's body coincidentally as her memories appeared. Yeah, it's so tough to say, right? It's so tough because I see what you're saying, where it's just coincidence and we shouldn't be tying the two, but I think you could also reason that Gunko was going through something so traumatic that Emu could tell Gunko was about to, like, change her mind. Like, maybe Emu was going to lose control. Like, maybe Emu has, like, a little bit of control now. Because maybe, like, with the heterochromatic eye situation, like, maybe Emu's at least watching or paying attention. And maybe that traumatic thing was gonna free her, and so Emu's like, nope, like, I'm taking full control, so you don't think about this anymore. Because if you think about your past and you realize, oh, this guy in front of you isn't just this musician you like, but a father figure, that love that you have might get in the way of what I'm trying to do, so I'm just gonna take control right now and stop this. Like, I think you could read it both ways, so I'm 50-50, but the timing definitely doesn't make it any easier, for sure. XL Beanboy with the $20 super chat. XL Beanboy, I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very much. Marijois has been wide open for months now, under siege for weeks. No new food. The admirals are all over the place. The Gods Knights are in Elbaf. Vegapunk is quote-unquote dead. Kuma just ran through it. The capital is in sorry shape right now. That's true. That is true. Like, because the Reverie started, see, now I gotta remember what the Wano timeline, but like 3 weeks ago, maybe like a little over 3 weeks ago, something like that. And ever since then, they have kind of just had issue after issue, it feels like. And so whenever, because I'm thinking about it, whenever Gunko says the Holy Land's currently in a sea of flames, I mean, she's not just saying it on fire, and Kuma also was like Ursa shocking some areas. So I doubt that's it, but I guess theoretically that could be it, because they've just been getting hammered. And again, this goes back to what I said earlier, like, Sabo going back so quickly feels a little weird. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it feels a little strange, so I don't know. I'm open to all ideas about the Holy Land, honestly. Like, that, Oda did a good job of making that a mystery. Like, tying it to the Shamrock thing, now I'm like, what's happening, But thank you very much, Bean Boy. I appreciate you. Kuya Pixels with the $5 super chat. If this leads to more amazing Brook lore and he's actually a character of higher rank or importance, fire emoji. This was not in my Elbaf bingo card. Same. And I feel a little blasphemous. I feel a little heretical because I did not have Brook hype on my bingo card for Elbaf. But clearly I was wrong for that. We all were. And I'm not complaining. The Usopp stuff will come later. I know we talked about that earlier, but we can all enjoy this Brook hype right now. And here's the thing, you know, Oda is like a master of not revealing that much information. Like he's a very show not tell kind of guy. So if there's something really important that we should know, he waits to tell us that until the right time, so it can be a show and tell kind of at the same time. A good example is how Robin doesn't tell us what's on the poneglyphs until it matters. Like whenever she's in Wano talking to Sukiyaki, she's like, "Oh, Pluton's here, right? I read about it." And we're like, "What? Wait, what? You've known this?" And so now, for us to finally learn a little bit about Brook's past, and it's, you know, it's tying to like everything that's going on in the arc very directly, like through Gunko. That's just like, that's part of why Oda's the GOAT, but you don't really realize how goated that strategy is until it happens. And it sucks because one of the best examples is Kaido's flashback. You're like, how do we not get Kaido's flashback at the end of Wano? And I fully agree with that. I think that we should have at least gotten more. We didn't need everything, but we should have gotten more. But now, let's say that Kaido's flashback ties to Herald and some of this stuff. Okay, well, that's going to make it hit way harder, and while Wano may have suffered a little bit from it, it's going to hit really hard now. It's the same thing with Brook's flashback. Like, I don't think a lot of us were ready, but if he's going to tie to the Gods Knights and Gunko, like, I'm glad Oda saved it. It's going to hit 10 times as hard now. And I'm just ready. That's all I got to say. I'm ready for it. Cheesy Skull, member for 2 months. I can't bear another sad father-daughter backstory. That is so true. We just had one in Egghead, and now we might have another one. That is so true. Like, Oda is really building on the sad parental relationships a lot. That might be worth its own video, to be honest. Like, I know I mentioned, I think Kush Daddy said it earlier, I know I mentioned I'm going to bring this up in the Brook video that I'm working on. I might just have to do a video on all these relationships that he's doing, and just the, you know, how that's a child as a parent's weak spot. Like that might be the whole focus of the video, because like Oda is really going hard on it, like big time. And I think this might be an element potentially with Garling and Shanks too, right? Because remember, Shanks returned to the Holy Land for some time period. Imagine Shanks like wanted to leave, and imagine a lot of the higher ups were like, no, you can't voluntarily leave now that you've been here. And then maybe Garling's like, hey, he's my kid, like, you know, maybe there was like some amount of love there. I don't know. Like, I don't want to humanize Garling because he's a piece of trash, but you know what I mean. There could be a lot to this, even beyond just the good guy parents, because we always think about it in that realm. Like, Kuma's a good guy, Brook's a good guy, Scopper's a good guy. A lot of these parental relationships, you know, the parents are good people, but it would be kind of cool if we got it on the flip side where like a bad parent, or like a parent who is a bad person, stood up for their kids still, and so we can kind of see that it works both ways. I think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, it's crazy. Oda's going ham on this. Friend Harper with the $5 super chat. I can't believe you sent this 40 minutes ago. I saw you put it in the chat, and it felt like it was 2 minutes ago, and I'm 40 minutes behind. So sorry I'm going slow, y'all, but we're trying. This is a crazy chapter. You said, thanks for the feedback on my notes. I never put my mind to a project like this and was winging it in a vacuum. Very happy to have external input. Oh, I'm happy that it helped you. If you want to, you know, work on like another edition or summary of what you sent me, and you want some more thoughts, I'm happy to do it. Kind of like I did the other day, and like I do for a lot of my theories. Whether it's a One Piece thought that someone sends me, or even like, you know, like a video topic that maybe I'm working on or whatever, I do a lot better when I have like a long time frame to think about it. And I think I've said before, like, I do my best work when I'm mowing the lawn, and then random thoughts come to me, or when I'm taking a shower, when I'm cleaning weeds, like doing monotonous tasks. And the same thing happened the other night, where I don't know if I was in bed, or maybe it was after I finished the last Sonic movie, which anybody who's curious, I have seen all the Sonic movies now, and the Knuckles series, and we can talk about that if you guys want. But regardless, the other night, I forget what I was doing, but something monotonous or laying in bed, And it just kind of came to me like, oh, you should go tell friend Harper this too. That'd be a really good thing to add. So if you want some more thoughts, let me know. I like I said, I get random thoughts all the time and would be happy to send them over. So I appreciate you. Tosmore and V Hall of Flames, you got 2 super chats here back to back, both $2. Thank you very much for your generosity today, my friend. I just saw Biblo and I immediately got excited. I love Biblo. Biblo and Chopper need to talk, and that's all I got to say for now. Biblo will hush the flames opposite of Nurture. I didn't even think about Biblo and the flames. Like, hold on, I got to go back to some of those panels. Do we see Biblo anywhere in those where stuff's burning? I don't think we do. Oh, so Biblo, or is this a school? No, so, okay, yeah, we don't see Biblo. I don't think, unless I'm missing it. But, hey, now I'm thinking now, can Biblo change the flames or something? No, I don't think that works, right? Because it can only... it can shrink things, right? So can it shrink the flames? Because if it's if it's already big, no, if it was small, it can enlarge it. So it can only enlarge, right? I can't remember exactly. I don't think Biblo can do anything, but I was really hoping Biblo could. But if Biblo does hush the flames or do anything to put out the flames, Biblo is, I genuinely can't explain how goated Biblo would be if Biblo stopped the fire at the library. Like, I already love this thing, and I don't have a lot of reason to. I just do. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, because it's like the owl in the library is like that's a big, like, that's been all sorts of stories of fiction and stuff. And he hasn't done a whole lot yet. He's just sitting up there. In Psy, which I've done a few collabs with Psy recently, if you guys haven't checked those out. But he pointed out to me that next to Biblo is a chair. And it's like in every panel of Biblo, there's a chair next to Biblo. And so people are like, oh, is Biblo actually like a person? Can Biblo just sit down in the chair? Or does Biblo have an assistant? Or like, what's going on? And that's made me very curious. But hey, if Biblo can put out the fire, I'm all game for that. Like, any Biblo hype, sign me up for. Then you also said Gunka was a sacrifice to summon a devil. Got poses. So hey, I really like that idea, because what I'm imagining is, you know how Brook got summoned in the time skip? Well, like, summoned, quote unquote. It was Kuma, but you know what I mean. He was like in that summoning circle. They thought he was Satan. And they asked right away, like, oh, is our tribute lacking? Do you need a sacrifice? And you think back to Skypiea, they were offering a sacrifice to the sun god, or the what was it, the Kashigami, whatever, the snake thing. It does make me think that there's going to be a sacrificial angle to something with Emu. And so maybe instead Emu, like, maybe you do have to sacrifice like a living person to create this regeneration thing. And maybe for Gunko, she just sacrificed her living life. Like, whenever she was actually alive, not this version of alive, but actually alive, she offered herself up, like, yes, give me immortality, I will give up my life for it, and whatever, as long as... She probably wants some kind of revenge. I don't know if she wants revenge on Brook for this sad past, or revenge on whoever killed her dad. I don't know what the situation is. But I could definitely see that, where she willingly gave up her life to get immortality, which is like... It's kind of like an oxymoron. I guess that makes sense. It's a paradox. We're like, oh, so you die to get eternal life? But that... I think that would be kind of cool. So, I'm with you. Also, shout out to everybody who subscribed during the stream. I have a lot of people, it just says, like, you guys subscribe, so thank you very much. I can't name all of you guys because there's a lot of you, but thank you very much. Smooth Weeb with the Canadian $5. Brooke must have thought she was dead from when the world government human hunted a certain kingdom. Okay, I like that. But she got brainwashed and possessed, and now Brooke will have to kill her. The skull emoji her. I love when you guys max out the characters. I know I say that all the time, but Brooke must have thought she was dead from when the world government human hunted a certain kingdom. And I would assume you're saying a kingdom. I don't know if it would be Brooke's kingdom, but a one in the West Blue in general. And I feel like a cleansing happening in Brooke's area one way or another is very likely. It could also be that it was Brooke's home island, and maybe Brooke saved Gunko like Kuzan saved Robin. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe Brooke, again, he wasn't a God's Knight, but since he worked for the military or whatever, maybe he was like ordered by the world government to help them do the cleansing, and he was like, no. But he probably just was quiet about it because he didn't want to get killed or whatever. And then maybe he escaped or something, like with her. Man. Because so he said that he was like the leader of a convoy of a certain kingdom, and so if they have a big military, I feel like they were probably government affiliated. And if they're government affiliated, then I don't know if they would have been cleansed. I can't remember. I don't think God Valley was affiliated, right? I can't remember. I don't know. Either way, I like the idea. And you said, but you got brainwashed and possessed. And so, yeah, it could be that, yeah, like she went through a traumatic thing, maybe in her home kingdom, where like maybe that's how her dad died. And then she did get possessed. It's almost like it would be a little bit like Ginny, but different, because Ginny obviously was at God Valley, and then but they were able to escape, and then Ginny joined the Revs to go like help people that had similar strife or whatever from the government. And it could be that, but like flipped a little bit, where Ginny went through that traumatic thing and then joined the good side to stop them, but then was forced to become a celestial dragon's wife or whatever later. Like maybe Gunko went through that and then wanted to go get revenge on people or something. Like I could see them just basically being affected by that situation differently. I like it. I got to think about it more. I got to go mow the lawn, which, by the way, small shout out, which I don't know if you guys care or not, but the other day I was mowing the lawn and my lawnmower randomly broke, and I have a Greenworks battery powered mower that I got a couple years ago. Contacted their customer service, and they immediately agreed to send me a whole brand new lawnmower and they barely asked any questions. And it comes with a new battery. So I will be back mowing the lawn soon to get some more thoughts, some One Piece thoughts. But I just wanted to shout out Greenworks, not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. If I was, you would definitely have known. But shout out to them. It was great customer service. They were super nice, sending me a whole brand new mower. Can't complain. If you guys are looking for some lawn equipment, you have a personal personal case here where they helped me a lot. So definitely shout out Greenworks. But anyways, Terrible TJ with the $5 super chat. If the Gods Knights are zombies, did they gain devil fruits after resurrection, or did their fruits not respawn after death somehow? Very interesting question. I never even thought about that. Oh, man. When Luffy died on the roof, very briefly, like where his heart stopped for a little bit, whatever you want to call that, his voice disappeared. He obviously didn't lose his fruit, even though he did die for a brief period. So that maybe leads me to believe like maybe the fruit doesn't leave right away, or maybe that's a zone thing, because they have a will and like they're trying to because we know zones, whenever they awaken, can control your body. So maybe there's an element there where like the awakening, like the animal, the Nika in this case, was trying to like control him or something. Like there might be a little bit of a difference, but because that happened, I think it does give the idea that like you can die for a second and keep your powers. And so I would say it's 50-50. I don't know if we necessarily can say for sure, because like if you are dead and you're a zombie, can you eat, like if it's a zone fruit, I think even a zombie could eat it after death. But if it's a Paramecia or a Logia, I'm not as sure that a zombie could eat it, because we know that like for inanimate objects, you can give zone fruits to those, like Funkfried, right? Funkfried is just a sword that was given an elephant fruit. So for a zone, I don't think it matters whether they're dead or alive. But now for a Paramecia or a Logia, we haven't seen that you can give those to inanimate objects. Now, green blood lets you kind of cheat the system with Seraphim, but that's a whole other thing. But regardless, so it makes me think that maybe you would have to eat the Paramecia or Logia before then, and then go through this process, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to transfer it over. But again, I am like pulling at straws here. This is not like canonical. I feel like Oda is really breaking the rules here. So, and again, I also, whenever we say zombie, I think there's like a little bit of an asterisk, and I think you were implying that, TJ, but it's not like zombie for sure, like Thriller Bark zombie, like maybe similar, but it may not be a shadow-based thing. And so they might be more alive than a typical zombie is, so maybe there are different rules, but I guess that was a really long-winded way of saying I have no idea. I'm gonna err on the side of they already had it before, but I could be wrong. I like that you asked the question because I would have not even thought of that. Good Vibrations, member for 30 months, which is insane. No, did I miss it? You did miss it. And I know this is 42 minutes ago, so I feel like I missed the chat by being so late. I don't even know if you're here, but you did miss it. Yeah, today's a good day. That's all I got to say. This was the 10 out of 10 chapter. I don't know if other than the mural, I don't think I felt this way after reading a chapter since I started. Like, when I was reading before before I started a channel, you know, like Gear 5 probably made me feel something like this, but that getting any Brook lore, man, this is about as excited for Brook as I can get without seeing Laboon and Brook in the same panel. You know what I mean? Like this is like the highest of highs for Brook outside of Laboon reuniting. So I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. Smooth Weeb with the $2 Canadian. In my opinion, longer hair confirms Emu did switch with Lily. And you know, and you might be right. I would definitely say it's definitely not a confirmation. Confirm is a pretty strong word for me. Like, you know, it would have to be pretty unarguable for me to say confirm, but I would say the stocks are up. The stocks are definitely up. You know, seeing her with longer hair, and assuming it's her, I assume that's her above that panel, where it's like half and half, where it says father. Her having long hair to me makes it, you know, who knows? She might be tapping into her older self, but yeah, stocks are definitely up. And honestly, the more I think about it too, like, it is longer hair, but it's still Gunko's hair. Like, you still have the bangs down the middle and stuff. Like, it still looks like that. So the more I think about it, the more I probably err on the side of it's just Gunko, like, tapping into a more prime form. And you know what? You know what? That also makes me think of Qigong, because remember Lao Ji, how he was able to, like, bring strength from his youth forward or whatever? And I was talking earlier how beating the regeneration might tie to life return or semi-Kikon. Those are all connected. Like, they're all the same branch of power, just used in different ways. So I almost wonder if this is like a Qigong situation. Like, Gunko is literally turning into, like, her younger self, or maybe not just her younger self, but like this. I mean, it's just this Emu controlled version. And maybe, I don't know, back when when Gunko was younger, that was the first time that it happened, and now we're just tapping back into that mode. Like, I don't know, you know, I'm spitballing. I have no idea. This is brand new. I have no idea. So yeah, I'd probably err on the side of it's still Gunko, but like I said, stocks are up on the Lily stuff for sure. I think the possession alone puts that stock up. So I agree with that part of it for sure. JR Ryder 203 with the $5. Super dark, but maybe Emu is secretly doing what Sharlos was trying to do with Shirahoshi, and a grimy reason for Reverie is for Emu to find princesses. Now, I guess what I'm thinking is, like, if Sharlos got Shirahoshi, it would have been not for Poseidon purposes. Like, they don't know that Shirahoshi is Poseidon, or at least Sharlos doesn't. Maybe Emu does, because Emu had the poster of Shirahoshi back in chapter, what was that, like 905 or whatever it was. So I guess I'm just trying to think of how that would all tie together, because I do like the parallel in general, the princess kidnapping angle, because that could also go to Lily as well, right? Because Lily was a queen back then, but regardless, with the Vivi connection, because Vivi was a princess, now should be the queen, but I don't know if that's been explicitly stated. But regardless, it would be interesting if that's why Emu had the Reverie. Like, not necessarily, because, like, does the government really care about all the countries? Like, they don't. I mean, it might be good to let the kings feel like they have a little bit of control, but the Emu doesn't really care. If the government wants those countries to do something, they're gonna make them do it regardless, right? So maybe that is a good reason. Like, the Reverie isn't just for those meetings, but also for keeping the princes and princesses close by, because even for Vivi, they kidnapped Vivi, like, and then Wapol saved her, but regardless, even Vivi was getting captured while Cobra was talking to Emu. So there might be something there where, like, it's all just to get all the princesses in one place. I think that's interesting. Tosmorn, again, with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, bro. Hair stores memories or strength, and that's interesting because of Viver cards and stuff, and my Afro theory, but regardless. Eyes are windows to the soul, both cultural beliefs present around the world. It's why Brook keeps his Afro, hats matter. Yeah, I like that eyes are the windows to the soul part's interesting too, but the hair tying to memories or strength, we know hair ties to, like, the soul and I guess memories to a degree. Because of Viver cards, because those were made from like hair or nail clippings or whatever, right? Keratin in general, which that's in your hair and nails and everything. So regardless, it is funny that Brook is the guy with the Afro. He's dead, and all that stuck around was his hair. And, you know, he's the Soul King. And to get Viver cards, which, like, you know, points towards your soul or your body, whatever you want to call it, you know, that requires hair or keratin in general. Like, I think there is definitely, you know, a situation there. And now the real reason why Brook keeps his Afro is so, you know, Laboon remembers him. But you know, obviously with the Afro theory that I have, I'm a firm believer that there's more to it than that. So I think you're onto something. I like that line too, that eyes are windows to the soul, because, I mean, that like you said, that is a saying in a lot of cultures, or like there's, you know, mythology or beliefs, whatever, tied to that idea. Now we see, you know, when Gunko finally transforms, the eyes are like the signifier of it. So I think that's really interesting too. So yeah, no, you're cooking, Tosmore, as usual. Brandon King with the $2 super chat. Let's see. Brook, Gunko parallels Shanks and Uta. Gunko is to Emu what Uta is to Tot Musica. All right, hold on. Let me think about this a little bit more. It took half my brain power to decipher, but now that I understand, let me think about it more. So you're saying Brook and Gunko parallel Shanks and Uta, where it may not be their direct blood-related daughter, but they were protecting them, and also Uta's a singer, so there's a music element, so I really like that parallel in general. And so Gunko is Emu here, where Uta was Tot Musica. Okay, so I agree with that whole parallel. I definitely agree. Because that, like, Tot Musica and Uta, you know, kind of work together for this whole plan. Like, I mean, well, Uta was using Tot Musica, whatever, you know what I mean. So I like that. And it's also like you're summoning this monster that's like underworld related, you know, special powers, all that kind of stuff. I like that. And I like it, but it also bothers me, because then I start thinking, like, how deep do these connections go? Like, how much did Oda spoil with that? Because remember, they had the whole 2-dimension thing at the end where you had to fight in both dimensions at the same time. And here we have, like, the kids, you know, are scared, but their nightmares are running around and they were sleeping. So it's like, is there like a dream world and a non-dream world, which is pretty much what Film Red was? Trying to think of, like, what this might mean. Like, what's the next step then for Oda? I might have to go back and rewatch Film Red, and the fact that Shanks is tied to it, and we had Shamrock here, like, there's so many things that tie that movie to what we're seeing right now. So you're onto something, Brandon King. You're onto something. If anybody has like a full-blown Film Red parallel theory, I think I would love to read that. I've actually been thinking about starting a video series, and I've thought about it enough to where I think I'm going to do it. I just don't know the template, so that's why I'm telling you guys. But I don't know exactly how it's going to work. But I want to do a theory review series over on Redacted where I don't know if it would be like Reddit theories. I don't know if it would be YouTube comments. I'm still working on that format. But I really want to start doing a theory review segment where I can even just take, like, even if it's like once a week and I just do 3 or 4 theories that are like well thought out and we really go into them. I really want to do that. And so, again, I don't have it planned out, but I feel like a well-researched and thought-out Film Red parallel theory would be really good. So if anybody does do that, that might be a good, kick in my butt to get started on that series. But I do want to start doing that because I mean, I love making theories and I have, a lot more I could do, but I know you guys have a lot of them too, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I really like that one, but this other guy, somebody else made it, so I'm not going to go steal it and make a whole video on it. But if I can do a theory review thing where I give them full credit and I'm just adding my extra thoughts on it, and it's like a Reddit theory or whatever, I feel like that might be a good middle ground. Watching people's videos is a little bit iffy. Like, if they want me to, that'd be okay, but I don't want to take views from them. But I feel like Reddit or YouTube comments is a good one. So either way, I'll figure that out later. But I feel like if anybody's got a film red theory, hit me with that for sure. Smooth Weeb, Canadian $5. Appreciate you very much. I doubt you need Conquerors to hurt the Gods Knights, I assume, because I don't think Chopper will get the info from Gabon just to pass along the message to Zoro and Luffy. That's a really good point. Like, if Chopper's going to get this info, if Oda's singling out Chopper to go presumably save Scopper and get this information, if it's just Conquerors, like, imagine Chopper going back, and I'm dumbing it down a little bit, but because just Conquerors, I'm sure it's not just that, there's going to be a trick, but if it's mainly that, Chopper going back to the monster trio and be like, guys, there's these unbeatable beings, or actually, they already know about the regeneration. They haven't seen the Gods Knights, but they know from the Gorosei. So imagine Chopper being like, guys, remember that regeneration? All you got to use is more Conquerors hockey. Like, that, like, it's just, that would be so anticlimactic for me. And again, it would be more than that, but that's how it would feel. But let's say it's like a special thing that Chopper only knows about. Like, again, going back to biofeedback or semi-Keycon, life return, Qigong, all the same thing. If it's that, that's something that Chopper specifically would know about more than anybody because he's fought against it. He probably knows about it from Kureha because with the biofeedback comment, it showed that he had heard about it before. And so that would be a case where he can go to them and be like, guys, I figured it out. It's this special thing that I've heard about that you guys have never heard about. Like, that's like a deeper situation. Like, there's more story points to build off of that, right? So that's a really good point, Smooth Weeb. I feel like I'm thinking the biofeedback thing has gone up, personally. I mean, I might be wrong, but, and also, you know how Summers here isn't actually dead? Like, he's saying ouch here at the end, even though like half his body is cut in half. Like, I'm sure he's feeling pain, but I think this is really adding on to the idea that they aren't like alive in a normal sense. Like, because if he got cut like it almost looks like when Law cuts people in half, right? Like, it feels more like he's stopping them from regenerating more so than actually hurting them, if that makes sense. Which last chapter he did say, what? It's not regenerating. And so I guess that's a long-winded way of saying I feel like we probably still have a long ways to go on how to actually defeat these guys. But I don't know. I can't wait to see what the resolution is. If it's life return, you're gonna see a different Dak that day. Terrible TJ with the $2 super chat. Yes, life return could tie into Gunko or God's Knights. And I gotta ask, is the reason why, like, so Smooth Weave just said, I doubt it's Conquerors, and then you brought up Life Return. Is that because I was talking about Life Return, like, 40 minutes ago, and then you guys did Super Chat? Like, mainly because I feel bad I'm this far behind. Like, I was bringing up the Life Return back then, and you guys had some thoughts on it, and now, like, we have to circle back because I'm so far behind. We're, like, repeating history. Sorry I'm going so slow, but it is, today's a special day. But, yeah, I hope it's Life Return, TJ. I genuinely do. That like I said, you'll see a different Dak that day. Mainly because of Chopper. Like, not because I haven't even made, like, a full theory on it. I wouldn't even feel like I'm getting a W or anything. It's more so because that's Chopper. Chopper gets to finally have a big moment. And also, like, a strength level moment. Like, not that Chopper is going to go beat the Gods Knights. But if Chopper can be a key cog in us eventually doing it, so Chopper, doesn't seem as weak as he has in recent arcs, because he's even hiding here, and people were saying, like, okay, Chopper, you better do some brain point stuff while you're in there. Like, let's figure out the weak point. Like, that's kind of your job. You're the brains. So, like, for him to be the brains and figure out the solution, I love that. So hopefully that's what it is. All right, now we have a big jump here to 14 minutes. Now we're getting caught up. So thank you guys for sticking around. And wading through all of these responses. And thank you guys for all of your generosity. Seriously, we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I'm not even done with the super chats, which is... This only happens on 10 out of 10 chapters. Friend Harper, you said, think of the way the world government recruits sometimes, as described in Green Bull and Fujitora's SBS details. Could Brook have been requested or drafted, but he dipped out? I love that idea. I'm gonna refresh my memory real quick on how they joined, because I remember reading that. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. Please tell us the former occupations of Fujitora and Green Bull before they were admirals. Just as they became the ones in charge for the defense of affiliated nations to the world government throughout the system called World Military Draft, these two were handpicked by the Marines. For Green Bull, Aramaki hails from the South Blue. He was a police officer from the Taya Kingdom and caused a great incident involving a woman and got thrown into prison. His reputation of possessing extraordinary strength reached the government. He got drafted into the Marines and immediately got a special promotion to admiral. And then for Fujitora, he says, Isho hails from the West Blue. He incurred losses on a gambling house in Twin Snake Island, and the place he was working as a bodyguard was bought by the world government with a large sum of money. Isho was the former defense military chief in the Aoi Blue Kingdom. Oh, like Aokiji, I think, right? Ao Kingdom, whatever it is. That once existed in the Grand Line. The Ao Kingdom was destroyed because of the war, and he became a significant war criminal. The world government will eventually be made aware of this fact. Okay, so they don't know now. That's right. I feel like that matters a lot. Okay, so basically, to sum that up, they were really strong military or law enforcement personnel. They maybe had some feats as in doing that, and the government heard about it and recruited them. And maybe that's part of why Brook became a pirate in the first place. Maybe it was that situation. Maybe he made a name for himself as a leader of a convoy, and then whenever he's telling Gunko, you see, my dream is to be a pirate, that's because maybe he's telling her I may have helped save everybody this day and I was asked to join, but I actually don't want to do that. I want to go sail on my own. And so he left her instead of staying and protecting or even joining the government to protect people, quote unquote. And then that might be why Gunko joined. Maybe Gunko thought that was a mistake and is like, well, if you don't want to join the Gods Knights, I'm going to. And again, if Brook got asked to join the Gods was asked to join, and he said, I'm good because I want to be a pirate. Oh my God, man. I don't even want to think about that possibility. It gets me too hyped. But it is likely though. It's like, I can see it. And Brook, having that level of strength is insane for Brook, so maybe he was just asked to join as like a vice admiral or something. Maybe it wasn't a God's Knight. It doesn't matter what it is. If Brook got a special call from the government and was like, yo, we want to recruit you and promote you to a high rank because of your actions, and we're going to make you into this high up guy that we believe in, and he said, nah, I'm good. I can't think about it. I can't. It gets me too hyped. I can't do it. K Raven, $5 super chat. I love that Chopper immediately went to find clues. Do you think the answer could be related to the cherry blossom? Also, Gerd will heal Scopper. Now, Gerd's interesting because I think we were talking about this last week, where do we know where Luffy is in relation to this tree branch that we're on right now? Because if this tree branch is serendipitously above Luffy and Loki and Zoro and Sanji and Harudin and all those guys, so that way anybody who falls lands near them, for one thing, that is an Oda thing to do, because then people will crash down by Luffy. Luffy will be like, what the hell? Like, who is this? So like if Scopper falls and he sees he's hurt and he's like, whoa, we were just fighting earlier and you were, kicking my ass, and now you're almost dead. Who did this? Like, I am terrified. Like, well, Luffy won't be terrified, but he'll be like, hey, this is serious business. I mean, obviously the rest of the crew is terrified right now. So if that's the case, then I think Gerd healing Scopper's definite, but it could also be that Chopper goes down and just does it, which I think might make the most sense, because while Chopper is healing Scopper, he can ask about what the secret is, right? I think that is where Oda's going with it. I think that makes the most sense. Now, it could also be Gerd is helping, because Gerd probably knows where most of the medical supplies are and stuff, so Gerd might be like the, I feel bad saying this, but like, and not that it's that bad, but Gerd might end up just being like the Tristan of this arc. If you remember Tristan, like I forget, is she a reindeer? I can't remember, but the nurse girl that was helping Chopper in Wano in that room with Miyagi, if you remember those two. Gerd might end up being like Tristan, which again, I feel bad because Tristan is like the definition of a background character, and Gerd maybe could have more importance than that. But regardless, I could see them working together, but Chopper being there to ask questions, I feel like has to happen. And I agree, K Raven. I love Chopper doing something like that, and it's not just Chopper doing something, because if you go back to Egghead, Chopper tanked an attack from Saturn, point blank, which is blasphemous in a lot of different ways, and we don't even have to get into that. I think it's ridiculous, but it that stuff, like, is that a cool moment for Chopper? Sort of, but that's not like a Chopper thing, right? Sure, using guard point to block attacks, like, has Chopper done it a bunch? Sure, like, it's kind of a Chopper thing, but I don't look at that moment and think like, oh, that's a defining Chopper moment. Like, not at all. This could end up becoming one where he is, because he's the brain point guy. He's the find the weak point guy. That's been his main battle prowess for a lot of the stories, is that the thinking part of it. And so for him to see this opportunity of like, okay, we finally have someone who can get past this. We have to figure it out. We cannot beat these guys otherwise. Like that's Chopper using his brain to do what Chopper is meant to do. And so I agree, this is a great moment for him, and I love that Oda finally, brought him into the fold for sure. Good vibrations with the $2 super chat. How is Oda going to turn this into an Usopp arc? It gets harder and harder to answer that every week, because whenever the kids' nightmares were coming to life, I thought that was for sure the best angle, and that could still happen, because I brought this up before. The monsters that we've met that were like the kids' nightmares, they were really weak, right? Like, they were like pretty much one-shotted. I mean, they were threatening, but like Saul beat one of them, and no disrespect to Saul, but like, if Saul can beat one in one punch, then we can probably take care of the rest of them even with just the giant forces. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we need Gear 5 Luffy to come in and save everybody. But if those were better drawings or just more threatening beasts or whatever, then maybe that becomes a bigger threat. And so I think that could still be a really big angle where, like, I just like the idea of Usopp, instilling bravery in these children to beat these giant beasts, because that's more of his bravery than his strength. But regardless, even that isn't enough, I feel like, for this to be like Usopp's arc. Like, for one thing, the Noland connection has to come into play, where he's related to Noland. This obviously hasn't been confirmed, but he lied about it in Dressrosa, which means it's probably going to happen. I was actually going to do a video about that, about Usopp's lineage, which that'll have to be on the back burner because I got to do a Brook one now. But like Usopp's lineage, whether he's like a Dosendata, for example, stuff like that, like, there's got to be a lot of build up to be like, oh, Usopp, you're actually really important to the Giants. Like, maybe Usopp is related to the god of Elbaf, or, like, there's a lot of crazy things that could get unearthed. So, to answer your question, how Usopp can turn this into his arc again, it almost feels like we have to get past what we're doing right now, because this is like Brook's time, and might end up being Dragon or the Revolutionaries. Like, there's so much, and it's like, where does Usopp even fit in? I don't know that answer. So it might be a while, is my answer, I guess. And I actually feel like the fact that we are 20 plus, what are we, like 23 chapters into Elbaf, 22, something like that. The fact we're this far into Elbaf and we haven't gotten a lot of Usopp hype makes me think that Elbaf is going to be well over 100 chapters. I've been saying that since the beginning. I feel like with how much build-up Elbaf has, it should be over 100 chapters. And the fact that Usopp has not been built up whatsoever in 20-something chapters, I think it just has to be long, because even if Oda were to start focusing on Usopp in the next chapter, it's not going to feel as deep as it should if it starts right now. Like, he's got to slowly start trickling it. You know, Usopp's got to have some typical Usopp moments. He's got to fail, maybe have some growth. Like, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen for this to become his arc. So it might be a while, man. It might be quite a while. Lucky Beetle with the $2 super chat. So, Emu a girl? No. I pray Crocodile isn't Luffy's mom. Crocodile is not going to be Luffy's mom. I think you can rest easy on that one. I would be very shocked. As far as Emu being a girl, you know, if you go back to, I don't know what chapters it was, but whenever the Gorosei were talking to Emu, they used a male celestial dragon kanji with it, which has always been my main hint that, okay, Emu probably is a guy. But now you go back to this Emu controlling Lily thing, if that is true, then it would be like a mix, because it would be like the mind of a guy in the body of a girl, and maybe he's just doing that because maybe Lily... It could be that Lily controls an ancient weapon, which you'd have to wonder now, okay, well, does Vivi control one too? And then how are they both around? I don't know. Anyways, that's not important for now. So I would say 50-50. I'm a big believer that Emu, like when Nerona Emu was born, they were a guy. It's just, now what do you say if they're swapped into a girl's body? I don't really know what that answer is. Probably whatever he prefers. Like, if they're using a male celestial dragon kanji, he probably prefers to still be referred to as a male. It's just, you know, the situation necessitated being in Lily's body or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. It depends. 50-50, I guess, is what I would say. Smooth Weeb, Canadian $2. 40 mins, bro. You really make a workday fly by. Thanks, dude. No, thank you guys. Like, yeah, it's been 2 hours, and like I said, I feel like it's been 2 minutes. The way that this stream has gone and like the amount of thoughts, like, I can't believe I've been talking for 2 hours straight. I've also barely hiccuped, which you guys, or burped, you guys know. After speaking for a couple hours, that tends to happen. I'm barely drinking my water. I'm behind on all the things. So I appreciate you guys. You guys make my day go by really fast. And like I said, this was not the best week for me, but now I've completely forgotten. This week did not happen as far as I'm concerned. It never existed. It got deleted because of this. And I'm excited for the weekend now. Like, I'm going to be thinking about this all day, guys. I'm like, I don't know where this video on Brook's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to do just a full, this is Brook's backstory thing. You know, maybe I'll go through the whole flashback. I don't even know. I don't know where it's going to go, but we're getting a Brook video Sunday or Monday for sure. But thank you, Smooth Weeb, and thank you everyone who's been donating. I see I got another super chat here, but thank you everyone who donated. Like, this is probably the most supers I've ever gotten in a stream, which is saying something, because you guys are always really generous, but this was something else. So thank you guys, seriously. This is a special week for, I mean for me as a Brook fan, for all Brook fans, yes, but even just for One Piece fans to see Emu show up, like, I mean, Chapter 1149 is going to live on in infamy. And also, no break next week, so I got to really hurry up on this video. Which, part of me is thinking, maybe I should just wait till the next chapter, because it might all get revealed and I don't want to be wrong. But, you know, if I'm wrong, then maybe I can just do another video and then expand on it. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But thank you guys again. Lucky Beetle, $5 super chat. This is the last one, then I'll finally be caught up. And I'll probably stick around for a few more minutes, but 2 hours is usually the limit. And obviously I got some stuff to work on, so I'll be heading out here shortly. So get your last thoughts in now while you can. But Lucky Beetle, you said, I should have known that it wasn't a coincidence. The same arrow Emu, it wasn't a coincidence. The same arrow Emu came to Elbaf. I am no longer disappointed in Jinbei's defeat. Fan theories coming true. That it is interesting, right? Because Emu had the thumbnail, the YouTube thumbnail arrow attack on Cobra, and then I think everybody, as soon as they saw Gunko with the arrows, were like, whoa, like Emu was doing the same thing. And now Gunko has the arrow fruit, which still, you know, makes that a little bit awkward, at least for me, but it obviously was an Emu hint all along. Now, it still remains to be seen if all the Gods Knights can be controlled like this. Because you can even see Killingham here saying like, "Great Emu," like, so Killingham isn't getting, you know, controlled or anything. So, you know, it remains to be seen if Emu can do it to all of these, or if it's just maybe one at a time, or whatever the situation is. But yeah, I'm also no longer defeated or disappointed in Jinbei's defeat. And also, you got to think Jinbei's defeat was technically by the hands of Brook, and now with all the Brook hype, I feel doubly okay with it. Now Oda does need to start doing things with Jinbei other than Fireman Jinbei. I think we're good on Fireman Jinbei focus, but yeah, man, it wasn't a coincidence all along. Like, like I said, it's crazy though, because we saw the arrow, thought it, then saw it was the arrow fruit, and we're like, maybe not. And now it's right back to it. So now I'm going back to Emu, like, all right, Emu, what's up with you and the arrows? Like you don't have the arrow fruit, but you're still using them. What am I supposed to think of that? Like, can you do similar things to Gunko without the arrow fruit? And so did Gunko get the arrow fruit just so whenever you swap into Gunko's body, you have arrows? Like, I don't know. There's a lot you can read into there. So, yeah, this is crazy. And also, I saw you had another super chat. Thank you very much. Why does Emu have two names? Why did she come here? Are you saying Moo and Emu, or are those the two names you're talking about? Because that I'm not 100% sure. Because if you go back to chapter 1084, 1085, one of the two, when Emu is like sitting on the throne talking to Cobra, Emu refers to themselves as Moo. And so now whenever Gunko becomes Emu, again, they're referring to themselves as Moo. And that meant like dream or void. The kanji at least did. I think there was like a translator's note in the TCB version that I remember. And so why do they refer to themselves in the third person as like dream or void, and everyone else says Emu, like it's a separate thing? I'm not sure. Like, the weird part is more so Emu referring to themselves in the third person as Moo, right? That's the weird thing. And it makes me wonder, like, is it, like, we think of it in third person, but is it, like, if you're Emu controlling Gunko's body remotely, is that really, it's a weird situation, because, like, it's like you're Emu pretending to be Gunko referring to Emu, so, like, is it really the third person? Because if you said me, like if you use the first person, they would think Gunko, but you're trying to make them know that it's Emu, so you kind of have to say Moo. So I guess what I'm saying is maybe Emu themselves that we saw is also like a remote-controlled version. Maybe the real Nerona Emu is somewhere else, and maybe the Emu that does talk to the Gorosei is Lily, because the real Emu is, you know, off somewhere, maybe in space, somewhere, I don't know. And maybe in the core of the Earth, maybe where the Forbidden Sun was, I don't know. But it is interesting the more I think about it. Because, like, if I, like, Lucky Beetle, like, if I controlled your body, would I come out and say, like, if I said me, they're not going to think Dak. So I might come out and say, Dak will show thee the dominion of God, because they won't know it's me if I don't say that, right? So I don't know. That's an interesting angle to think of things through. And also, I just refreshed. And I got jump scared a little bit. I refreshed Google Chrome because the chat had frozen a little bit. And whenever I refreshed, my voice came through. And so I heard myself talking, and it scared the hell out of me because I was not expecting a voice to come through the ether like that. Straw Hat AP, you said Emu has three people or a third person inside. Yeah, like, I'm wondering if, yeah, like, Emu is just somewhere else entirely, and what we're seeing are just like satellites. I use that kind of loosely because, like, Vegapunk, you know, he didn't have like direct control, but whatever you want to call it, they might be like in a more centralized location than we've seen. And like the Emu that talks to the Gorosei is just another Gunko, but it's just Lily's body. That might make some sense. All right, what's this last one here? Good vibrations, I think. Hold on, let me scroll over and make sure. I want to make sure I got all of them. Okay, cool. Wait, also, Lucky Beetle, I didn't answer this part. You said, why did she come here? I forgot about that part. That's a good question, because, like, that actually makes me think... Because, like, they weren't in a dire situation, right? Like Gunko, without Emu's control, had just taken out one of the wings of the Pirate King. And that wing of the Pirate King is the only guy who knows the trick to beating the regeneration. So if I'm Emu and I'm thinking about this, this wouldn't be the time to come, right? This would be this is the time where they have it pretty firmly under control, I would say. Like, Luffy's not even here in Gear 5. Like, this is... They got it. And so for Emu to appear now, that does make me think it was more so because of the memory. Because you see how Gunko even says, what is this memory? It's like Gunko didn't know. Like Gunko had forgotten, or her memories were erased, or however you want to word it, you know, maybe like a Sindri thing, like maybe she died, and so, like, she has to be reminded of certain things. And so it makes me think that Emu only did this because Gunko was about to come to and be like, whoa, wait. I'm not supposed to hurt these people. These people are my friends. Like, I think Emu was stepping in because if Gunko had even said for like 2 seconds, like, you know, like started, I don't know, told Brook, like, oh wait, you're my dad or my father figure or whatever their connection is. Like, I think there might be more of a problem there. So I think Emu stepped in. The more I think about it, I think that's it. Because you also think back to the heterochromatic eye, which makes me think maybe Emu always has a little bit of control on Gunko. Like, maybe, you know, like Emu's half paying attention, and so that's it. But then maybe that memory came through and Emu immediately was like, okay, wait, nope, Gunko, I'm not losing you. Like, and I don't know if this is because Gunko maybe is a newer member and maybe, like, the control hasn't baked in as much. You know, we have to probably learn more, but that's what I'm thinking, Lucky Beetle. And then Good Vibrations, the last super chat here, unless somebody sends one in the middle of it, but probably the last one. Let's see. The eyes just always bring me back to Mihawk. Maybe he's a freed God's Knight. I don't know. Yeah, and that's a theory that people should be talking about a lot more, I feel like, because now that we officially know the Shamrock and Shanks Fagarland connection and stuff, we really have to start thinking about the Mihawk part, because Mihawk, you know, going toe-to-toe with essentially a God's Knight, which, you know, Shanks wasn't one by name, but he probably had the strength and the bloodline, you know, even the looks. He had everything to be a God's Knight. Probably is even more powerful than one. You know, it does beg the question of, like, what, you know, Mihawk, what's your story then? Like, are you from a family of God's Knights also? I think that's likely, and you know, you pointing to the eyes makes that even more likely, because maybe he got too strong and freed himself. Now, the problem with that would be, like... Well, I guess I'm 50-50 on this problem. I was going to say it might be a problem why, like, they weren't going after him, but maybe it's because he was so strong, they were like, we just won't bother. But then again, he was the Marine Hunter, so he was obviously causing them a lot of problems, and so they maybe should have. But then he did become a warlord, and then they did go after him right when he wasn't a warlord. So I guess I go back and forth on, you know, what the government should have... how they should have acted in retribution of him getting freed. Like, I think you could maybe argue both ways, that they should have got him or should have not. I don't know. But that is a theory that I think needs to be at the forefront. And people have a lot of videos on it, but now that this has all happened, I feel like I would almost go as far to say that's easy pickings for like a big video, so maybe I'll do it. I know I'm far from the first one, so I'll probably shout a couple people out who've done these videos before, but I think that's very likely. From the eyes all the way down to the just the history with Shanks, it makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. Freed God's Knight, I think, sounds the most compelling. I think that'd be cool. But then you'd have to ask: is it just that like he got too strong, or maybe Mihawk was in a similar boat to Gunko, but maybe Mihawk actually was able to think that memory through, and maybe that's why Emu did this. Like, imagine Mihawk, I don't know what his backstory would be, but something really sad happened. Maybe he remembered something with his dad or his family or a friend or whatever. And then maybe he did get freed, and then Imu started thinking, okay, well, next time one of my God's Knights starts remembering something, I'm taking over right away, so they don't do that. And that might be why we're here today. So, I don't know. Well, all right, guys, I think we have reached the end. And also, I'm very curious to see off these community leaderboard things who is the highest, because that's a new feature they just added, and I think that's kind of cool. It looks like Dexter is #1. Should I start giving awards? I don't know what award I could actually give. I should tread lightly. I don't know if I can give you guys anything, but that is really cool. We got Dexter at #1, Real Tony at #2, or tied for #2 technically with Straw Hat AP, and Kanu technically. It doesn't say that, but you all have 175 XP, whatever that means. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. That is brand new. I've never seen that. I did not know that was coming down the pipeline, but that is cool. I'm just going to scroll through and see some of what your regular chats are, and then we're going to get out of here, because I know I saw a few during it that I wanted to respond to, but I had so many supers that I couldn't stop. So we're going to see what else you guys are saying here. I saw that one from Straw Hat AP, so I'm going to start from there. Dexter, you said Emu can mean a whole bunch of things among voice and such. I assume that ties to when I said like dream or void. Yeah, it's a very, I am not a Japanese speaker, so take this with a grain of salt, but just from what I have heard and what I understand, it can mean a whole lot of different things, and all of them seem to have their own potential application to Emu. Like dream definitely could, void could, voice probably could, and there's probably some other ones, maybe like just again, I don't know what they all mean, but it's hard to read into, so I'm excited to see where that goes. Let's see. Saturn in the chat. Saturn, glad to see you still alive, my friend. I thought you were cooked, but it's good that you're still here. Like, I'm glad that you're here and not in the One Piece story. You know what I mean? We don't need you there causing any more havoc, but you being in the chat's a good thing. Who do you think attacked the Holy Land? So we talked about that a little bit earlier. It is so hard to tell. I feel like the easy answer is Sabo, because there's flames, and the revolutionaries are obviously trying to fight them. If you want some more fun answers, we're all waiting for Shiki to appear. Maybe Shiki did it. I highly doubt that's the case, but like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of people that are strong and should be in the story right now. Maybe Cross Guild went there to go cause some problems. I don't know. Sabo's the easy answer, but I don't really have a great answer for you, to be honest. Let's see. Smooth Weeb said Gunko is an invented personality, and Emu felt the Wi-Fi signal was low. That is honestly a good way to put it. Like, it's kind of funny to put it that way, but it could be that, like, maybe this entire Gunko persona that we've met, the person that we know as Gunko so far, is not at all what the original was like. And then as soon as this version of Gunko got that memory, it started, like, immediately changing their personality. Like, whoa, wait. Wait. I didn't think that happened. I've been under this belief system, and that, it started changing their motivation, and so immediately, Emu rehooked to the Wi-Fi. I think that makes sense. Living Dog, you said Chopper is going to be the next Pirate King in response to Straw Hat AP. Chopper is definitely going to be the next. He's already the current Merch King, and how about the next Pirate Merch King? I think there you go. You just got to add a little word, because that would definitely be true, because I think I saw something recently that Chopper was on. I'm trying to think that there was like some merch. What was it? I don't know if it was like a Chopper theme park or restaurant or something, or not just Chopper, but One Piece. But I saw a One Piece centric like attraction, and Chopper was the main focus, and I just can't remember what it was off the top of my head. But I know that they are going hard on making Chopper the main marketing tool for sure. Kanu, you said rigged for Dexter. It is. And you know what? Dexter deserves it. Dexter's helped me out a lot. Which actually, Dexter, I might need your help tentatively. I don't need it right now, but I might need a little bit of your help editing another part of that video we talked about, because hard to describe, but I got some better footage, but it doesn't cover all the stuff that we talked about, and so I might just need some pointers. But regardless, I'm going to be reaching out to you probably. Oh, Tosmorn's up to number 3 now? Oh, no doubt. So Tosmorn and Straw Hat AP and Kanu are all tied at 225. I like this new system. I get what you're going for, YouTube. You're trying to incentivize people to chat even more than they already do, which, hey, you know, that's smart. That's smart. Lucky Beetle, said Luffy will fight Blackbeard last. I probably agree. And that's why I'm saving my Luffy versus Blackbeard video for my last one for that series. Yeah, Tosmorn, boost engagement, exactly. I don't really know how the XP works, because you guys aren't getting like 25. It's not like you guys are getting like 1 XP a message. I don't know what the system is. Yeah, because Neon, you said you just got 50. Yeah, you just boosted up. You weren't that high before, so I don't know what the system is. It would be kind of cool if somehow, like, again, you know, this is One Piece, and YouTube has to do this for the whole website, so I know what I'm about to say is not actually possible, but if they could give points in relation to, like, how good the theory was, you know what I mean? Then that would be really cool, which, again, that'd be subjective. I would need mods to go in and apply the points or something. But that'd be cool if they had some system where I could do it, because it's not like I'm sitting here adding points. Like, I genuinely have no idea how you guys are getting the points other than chatting. But if we could give points based on the theory quality, like, oh, I agree with that one, here's 50 points, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe it's like 25 per 10 messages. I think it's something like that, but I also know people were getting 25 for their first message, so I would imagine it's something like 25 for your first, 25 for the next 3, maybe 25 after 5 more, maybe 25 after 10 more. Like, it probably accelerates, so that way it's, you know, you can really tell. It just rolled out, so they probably are going to be changing it a lot, but pardon the theory, Straw Hat says. You know, anybody who's familiar with Pardon the Interruption from SportsCenter, I've been wanting to make either my current redacted videos or maybe a new redacted format that's just like PTI, where it's, you know, we have like time limits to talk about the topics, and it's like very quick and we run through it. And I was thinking of calling it Pardon the Theory, but again, I got a lot of different plans that I gotta hammer down here. Vexy says, I think watch time also plays a role. That would make a lot of sense, because I've been lurking the whole time. Wait, Vex, you lurk? I didn't know you lurk. If you've lurked that much to get 200 points, some might call you even the lurking legend. And you know, I'm just saying. Maybe consider putting it in your username. Elia, you said, but how much are they worth in Shroot bucks? Gonna have to ask Dwight about that one. Vex, he's on to me. I am. Look, I did not know Vex the lurking legend would lurk to the degree of getting 225 points. That's legendary. That's legendary right there. But all right, guys. I think we are gonna head out here, or I'm gonna head out rather. But what a chapter! Genuinely, what a chapter! And the most amazing part of this is that it's only gonna get better, right? Like, we just got a little glimpse that these two have a connection here, like that father-daughter, whatever the, you know, protector, whatever he is to her. We're about to get a flashback. Maybe not the next chapter. It might not be for a while. Maybe they have to, like, subdue this Emu Gunko situation, and then when Gunko is no longer controlled by the Dominion of God or whatever, then maybe she can start going through the backstory, or maybe Brook will just do it for us outside of that. You know, I don't know. But we are in for some major stuff, and it's going to happen soon. So, I'm looking forward to it, guys. So, like I said, I'm going to get a video out as soon as I can about this. I don't know what exactly it's going to entail, but it's going to be about Brook, that's for damn sure. I'll tentatively do a redacted video, because I got to see how long this takes me and what the focus of it is. If there's enough meat on the bone for me to talk about other stuff, then I'll probably do a redacted video separate. But either way, you're getting a main channel video about this, that's for sure. So thank you guys. Seriously, this was a special chapter, special day. I am gonna go treat myself to something. I don't know what I should go get. I don't even know. I'm not even gonna think about it too much. I'm just gonna go wherever the car takes me and go get something. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. And